Hello there, my name is Solmaz, and you are listening to Tabling Thoughts podcast. In this podcast, I talk about my experiences as a relationship coach and psychotherapist. The little things that I noticed in my clients' day to day lives, which may affect the quality of their lives and relationships enormously, and for some reasons, they don't pay that much of attention to them. As I mentioned, I'm a relationship coach and I also practice as a psychotherapist in Ontario, Canada. In order to get more information about me, you may check my Instagram account, YouTube, or my other podcasts via the links in description. You are listening to the 13th episode of the Tabling Thoughts podcast, and I'm going to talk about the concept of popcorn brain. Popcorn brain is a fairly new and modern term that describes the cognitive effects of excessive exposure to digital stimuli, specifically through devices like smartphones, tablets, and computers. The constant bombardment of information from these devices can have several significant impacts on our cognitive functions, emotional well being, and social interactions. So, the informal and very simple description of popcorn brain refers to the phenomenon where constant exposure of this kind of rapid fire information in our social media updates, emails, and notification leads to an expectation of instant gratification and constant stimulation. This can make it difficult for individuals to focus on tasks that require sustained attention and can reduce their ability to enjoy slower paced activities. Meaning that the more we are addicted to our specifically smartphones, checking them, checking the notifications, being exposed to that dopamine rush, the more we are exposed to popcorn brain. So let's see, what are the key points about popcorn brain? The first thing, as I mentioned earlier, is the constant stimulation. The brain becomes accustomed to the rapid pace of digital interactions, leading to a craving for continuous stimulation. This can make it harder to concentrate and focus on tasks that don't provide immediate rewards because we are so addicted to immediate rewards. The next key point could be the impact on attention span. What does it mean? The frequent use of digital devices can shorten attention spans and make it challenging to engage deeply with activities that require prolonged focus, such as reading a book or working on a project. Many of my clients who complain about their lack of attention, they talk about this many signs and key points of popcorn brain to me. They say that they cannot focus on sitting down and reading book without checking their notifications 100 times a minute. They cannot study. They cannot focus on a long conversation with other people because they feel that they just need to get to the end of the conversation. So that could be the consequence of popcorn brain impact on attention span. The other one is the dopamine addiction. The instant gratification from notifications and the quick updates we are used to could lead to a dopamine rush, creating a cycle of dependency on these stimuli for pleasure and satisfaction. Needless to mention, popcorn brain has this cognitive overload effect, meaning that the constant flow of information can overwhelm the brain, making it difficult to process and retain information effectively. This can lead to feelings of stress and anxiety. This overuse of digital communication can affect interpersonal relationships, reducing the quality of face-to-face interactions and leading to a preference for online interaction over real-life connections. And we know that the real-life connections are those which will help us to maintain our day-to-day life in a healthy way. I found many studies on cognitive impacts of popcorn brain. So here let's talk about three of them. One of the cognitive impacts that studies have proved is the hyperlinked reading. The habit of clicking hyperlinks while reading online content can fragment attention, making it harder to read longer texts or focus on single tasks. The other one is multitasking. Constant switching between tasks, such as checking notifications while working or studying, can impair cognitive control and memory. Popcorn brain also may cause cognitive overload, meaning that the brain's ability to process information can be overwhelmed by the sheer volume of digital input and leading to stress and decision fatigue. As I mentioned, emotionally and psychologically, popcorn brain may increase anxiety and stress level in individuals. There would be always a need to connect, and the fear of missing out, FOMO, can lead to heightened anxiety level. All those notifications and alerts can keep the brain in a state of heightened arousal, preventing relaxation. I also found some studies on dopamine dependency, which says there is instant gratification which causes the dopamine rush. The immediate rewards from digital interactions, such as likes, shares, notifications, can create a dependency on these dopamine hits, similar to addiction, leading to a constant need for stimulation. As I mentioned earlier, there are some social impacts too. So the impacts on relationship, as we said, this popcorn brain not only reduces the quality of interactions and in-person connections, but also as a result creates isolation. Despite being more connected than ever, excessive digital engagement can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness as a result of the decrease in real life interactions. So we talked about all the disadvantages of this concept of popcorn brain. We need to combat it, right? We need to figure out how to deal with it. There are some solutions too. The first one is called digital detox. When I was reading this study, I was thinking that could be really difficult. It's like getting out of some kind of addiction. For detox, the first and the best solution is to schedule breaks. For these breaks, you will turn off your cell phone or digital devices to take a break to allow your brain to reset. Consider having device-free times, such as during meals or before bedtime. Mindfulness and meditation could be a day-to-day practice that helps you to improve focus, reduce stress, and increase awareness of the present moment. Engaging in slow-paced activities such as reading, walking, or engaging in hobbies that require sustained attention can help retrain the brain to focus. Another way to combat popcorn brain could be limiting multitasking. Focusing on one task at a time can improve concentration and productivity, help you to reduce the cognitive strain caused by juggling multiple tasks. Another solution that I have been working on it and was helpful for me was structured time. Allocate specific times for checking emails and social media can be helpful to manage constant flow of information and reduce cognitive overload. Last but not least, to spot and identify the times and places that subconsciously I just get hold of my phone to check the notification or see what's going on. Such as when driving, you park your car, you're waiting for something. At traffic lights, when the light is red, many people are in their cell phones. Those are the spots that we can identify and we can take a break from them. Do something else. Listen to music, listen to your podcast, but do not check your cell phone constantly. My friends, I hope this episode of podcast helps you to figure out how this new and modern concept may affect your day-to-day life and the quality of your relationships. If you have any questions, I would love to read them in comments. Until next episode, take good care of yourself.